Hi, for those that I don't know, I'm Braude from the EMS Consortium at UNM, and I want to give you all a real brief introduction to a very exciting research project that is coming to our system very soon. And I promise you up front that the amount of work required is super small, and I'm going to show you what that is, and hopefully you'll agree. So this is about cardiac arrest, and we are so focused on cardiac arrest in our system. You all do such a fantastic job, but anybody who's been around for more than a little while has had the experience of a patient who everybody thought was going to do great, and then you find out later, you get the follow-up that they had some kind of horrible anoxic brain injury and family withdrew care, and that's obviously not what we're trying for. And on the other hand, sometimes we have patients who we don't think are going to do well, yet you find out later that they walked out of the hospital neurologically intact. It's like, what's the difference between those two patients? And clearly the difference, it's something about the brain. And we focus really hard in our resuscitations about trying to get the heart back to functional beating, and we also function on preserving perfusion to the brain with good chest compressions. But clearly some patients are getting better perfusion than others. And we now have the ability to measure that, at least indirectly, by measuring brain oxygen levels. So just like we put a pulse oximeter on the finger, we can actually measure, and with stickers that I'm going to show you in a second, we can measure brain oxygen levels. And there is some data out there that says patients with better brain oxygen levels do better long term. Those that have lower levels do worse. And there might be a cutoff number that kind of makes that distinction. However, this has not been studied in the pre-hospital world. The best data we have is from Japan, where they took patients who came in from the field, but put this on the patient when they got to the hospital. But how amazing would it be if we found out that there was a number that maybe at 5 minutes in resuscitation, 10 minutes, something early, where if a patient's got that magic number, their brain's getting oxygen, they could do well, regardless of the amount of time and other information. This is the patient we should focus on. We should be transporting for ECMO, for example. And on the other hand, what if there was a number that you said, wow, if we can't get the patient above this number at 5 minutes, for example, we know we're not going to save the brain. And that's important information to make decisions on withdrawal of care. And maybe we don't need to go 20, 30, 40 minutes in our resuscitations for those patients, and we can be confident what their outcome would be. So this would be really exciting. So now that this technology exists now, and it now exists, it's been in the hospital for a while, but in a portable device, which I'll show you. So I went to Masimo, the company that makes one of these devices, and I asked for support for a research project, and they said, that would be great, let's do it. So, and part of that was convincing them of what an awesome job we do with cardiac arrest resuscitation in our system, and that wasn't a hard sales pitch. So this is a study that nobody else in the world, to our knowledge right now, is doing. And it's going to be a metro-wide study involving the 20 busiest cardiac arrest responding units with AFR, Bernalillo County, and Rio Rancho. So the majority of those are Albuquerque fire units, but there's also some busy units in Bernalillo County and Rio Rancho. So it's going to be metro-wide. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some stickers on a patient, and then we're going to just go about our business. And we're going to put these on as early as possible in our cardiac arrest resuscitation. Now, if there's only 2 people that show up and this thing is stored on a rescue, you've got other things you have to deal with for the patient. But as soon as the manpower exists, we want to get this device on the patient. And let me just show you what the workflow is. It's really simple. So we're going to have it may not be this exact Pelican case, but we love our hard shell Pelican cases, and we want to protect this device. So these are good. In Albuquerque, they're going to be stored on AFR units to get them on as early as possible. And I should say on the AFR rescues. So somebody may say to the engine crew, hey, go grab the oximetry unit, or hopefully on your way in, you grab it so it's there as early as possible. The device is unfortunately pretty big, It's going to get smaller with time, but for now, for the study, this is the device. And it comes with, these are the sensors, and there's a cable, which was most likely already going to be plugged in, but just in case it's not, you can plug this into any of the ports on the side. That's it, and the on switch is here. So you take it out, you turn it on, you take 2 packs of sensors. There's an adult and a pediatric sensor pack. These are the adults, greater than 40 kilos. You open these things up, and just peel it open, take the sensor, and you peel off the backing. It's super sticky. And there's going to be one for each side of the forehead. It doesn't have to be an exact position. You can just slap it on the forehead. It's easier if you put one going this way and one going that way. So the other one would go the opposite direction, like this. But it doesn't have to be that way. They're not labeled right or left, either one. They just go on. And then this connects into here. One here, one goes here. And then you can put, this has a really long cable, so this device can be way out of the way. You don't do anything different. You just run your code. That was all of the work that was required to get the patient enrolled. The data is automatically stored, and we'll stick a flash drive in the back later, and we download the data. Albuquerque Ambulance has agreed to help us do the data analysis and take the data from the monitor here and compare to what's on the life pack and the chart. You don't have to do any of that. There's no paperwork required. You take out the monitor, you turn it on, you put the stickers on, you do it as early in the resuscitation as possible, and then you forget about it, and you do what you do well. One of the questions is, well, what do we do with the number on the screen? Nothing, because that's going to be covered up. This is what we call a classic blinded study. The reason we're doing it is we don't know what that number means. So we don't want to be staring at a number and doing things different when we don't know yet what that means. And I'll give you an example. I had a case recently in the emergency department, came in, had all the predictors of a good neurologic outcome, except that number was lower than I thought it should be, based on other studies that are not pre-hospital studies. And we really debated, I'm like, we don't know what that means, ignore that number, let's just put the patient on. Thank God we did that, because they had a very good outcome. So it's just an example. We don't know yet what this means. That's why we're doing the study. So we're going to cover that up. Won't be a distractor for you, for me, for anybody who's on scene. We'll pull that off later, and then we'll correlate all this, and hopefully we'll either determine that this is a great tool, or maybe we'll determine that it's not a great tool, but it's one more example of something that we're doing in the Albuquerque metro area that nobody else in the world is doing. And I really appreciate your support with the project. It's probably going to run for 2 to 3 years so that we can get enough patients enrolled. So this is going to become old habit. So just to reiterate the key points, we got to get the box to the patient's side early. You take it out, you turn it on, you take out a sticker pack, you put one sticker on one side, you put one sticker on the other side, you connect them here, and you forget about it. We will take it all the way with us. If we have reasons to transport the patient, we'll take it all the way with us to the hospital, and then we will turn it off at that point. And again, data is stored automatically. So at least I'm super excited about this. I hope you guys are. And if there's any questions, I'm sure somebody in the system knows how to reach me. So thank you very much.